to Universally Bedford, your one-stop shop for everything Universal Studios, coming to the UK. This is another one of our deep dive sessions into the planning application documents, part of the SDO, the Special Development Order. In this particular episode, we are going to be dipping into documents 1.10.0, 1.11.0 and 1.12.0. Lots of maps, lots of juicy tidbits for you. You're not going to want to miss a moment, so make sure you stick around to the end. If you are new here, we do construction updates, we do deep dives, and we do a fantastic Thursday evening fun sesh, Universally Bedford Live, 7 p.m. British time. You're not going to want to miss it. So before we waffle on anymore, let's just jump straight into the document. So where are we today? We are in document 1.10.0, which is the parameter plan, entertainment resort complex land use plan. Okay, all right, more maps. We love maps. Okay, here we go. So there we can see the site. Fantastic. All right, now we've got some color coding here. So before we jump in, let's go and view the legend up in the top right hand corner. Where are we? Up here. Okay, so we've got a red area, which is the entertainment resort complex. We've got blue, which is the ERC expansion area A. Orange is expansion area B. Green, expansion area C. And purple, pink, fuchsia, magenta is expansion area D. So what we can look at, let's summarize this for us all here, make it easy. Red is the entertainment resort complex, and all the other colors are expansion. Okay, right, let's jump back down to it here. So now we've got the red line, which denotes the boundary that extends all the way down to the A421 dual carriageway here. We've got this, which is the slip road area. We've got this bit, which is hashed out. This, if you remember, is a not entertainment centre. That's what the red bit is. This is an education centre. So if we zoom in, it doesn't. It's actually kind of. I need to remember what the name for that is, but that's an education centre, and it's ring fenced. It's excluded from the plans. It will stay. It will remain, no matter what happens. Okay, and then going down here, we have the core zone. Okay, so this core zone is effectively where theme park, hotel, city walk. That's where that's going to be. We have here our first little expansion zone. All right, now at the moment this is a private property. We're going to set a rule here on the channel, and not just on YouTube but everywhere. We're not going to delve into these specifics too much, primarily because there are people living here at the moment, and out of privacy and respect for them, it's not fair that we speculate here on the channel about what might happen. But I am just going to highlight it's here. It's mentioned as an expansion area, but they have been quite clear that this is not part of their initial plans. Okay, right. Now let's zoom out a little bit and scoot northwards to what is the lake zone. Now you can see here the red lines, they extend around the Kempston Hardwick station and what will be probably a remodeling of that level crossing into a bridge. And we've got 3 more expansion plots here, which, as you know, and as we just discussed, these currently have some private dwellings. So people living here. So they are not part of this application, but they are highlighted as something that, should it work, Universal would be interested in doing something with that land. Now, it is interesting here that the development outline does cover all of Manor Road, which would indicate that they are looking to do something with it. We'll get onto that in a future episode. So stay tuned for that. And of course, if you haven't subscribed already, then do so. But we do have a lot here. We've got obviously this road here that goes down to Amped Hill on the south end and goes all the way up to the interchange up there in the north. And this is the railway that runs north-south. And Wixham's rail station will be, if I do my mental maths, looks like it's going to be, yeah, sort of this area here. So what we've got here, we've got East Gateway, around here, East Gateway, Lake Zone, Core Zone, West Gateway, just down there. All right. Okay. Is there anything more in that document? No, that's it. Okay. Next document, 1.11.0. The parameter plan, access and roadways. Okay. So this could be quite interesting. So we mentioned here that we've got the East Gateway area over here and the West Gateway over here. Now this is kind of going to give us an indication as to where they're planning on building some roads. Very, very interesting. Let's go up to the legend first because that's what we like to do. So skipping past the boundary and the exclusions, we have these grey dashed lines, which are the proposed public roadway links. Public roadways, public roads. Okay, so Highways Agency going to be involved there. Now we've got this bit here, which is yellow, surrounded by this kind of magenta, pink, fuchsia dash, which is proposed roadway limit of deviation. So effectively what they're saying there is, okay, this is where we want to put it at the moment, but give us a little bit of wiggle room. So that is the wiggle room. That's where those roads could be, if plans change somewhat. We have red asterisks to denote primary roadway access point from existing road network. We have these magenta ones, which are primary roadway access points from existing road network or secondary roadway access point from proposed road network, depending on which Manor Road level crossing proposal is delivered. I can see why that's an asterisk. Right, okay. And then we've got this mustard yellow one, which is secondary roadway access point from proposed road network. So those are kind of the next level in. Those are the access points within the new access points. Okay. And then we've got green, which is restricted roadway access point from existing road network. Interesting. We have this green hash here, which is Manor Road level crossing proposals, and we have this green line which says Public Road B split line. Public Road B split line. Right. Okay. Not quite sure what that means. We will find out. So let's see where we've got these red logos and not. Okay, so we've got these red asterisks here. Okay, so that's just up. This is kind of the West Wixham's Village down here, interchange up here, and there is a new access point here with a new road that cuts through the lake zone. Okay, now if we follow that here, then we have these, which are site access points. So we've got site access points all the way around the lake zone, all the way around. All the way to here, one here. Now this is the concrete pad, which is the old Kempston Hardwick Brickworks. And then we have this purple one. Now, just to remind us, that is dependent on which level crossing proposal East West Rail go with, right? So, and that's where the green hash is, just to kind of make sure that contingencies are in. Okay, now it looks like a complete remodeling of Manor Road so that it's straighter, potentially wider. We'll come to that in a future episode. And that goes all the way down to here, which is again, it's the same road that we saw earlier. Okay, existing road network, that's where it's going. Now, what's that green asterisk again? That green asterisk, restricted roadway access point from existing road network. Okay, so that would indicate to me that that might not be, I mean, so that could be for the transport hub, that might be for universal vehicles like coaches, like shuttle buses, that kind of thing. It might also be for construction. So we'll find out probably a little bit more about that in the coming weeks. Okay. Right. Now, okay, right. Okay, this is interesting. So we've got a new public road that's going to run parallel here to the east-west rail line, and then it's going to cross over right down here, probably a bridge, and it's going to go up here, and this is where we have the slip road activity. Right, okay, so one asterisk I'm sure is for this one, okay, so which is Broadmead Farm down here. We got restricted access here and restricted access here. I'm thinking this might be construction related rather than anything kind of shuttle bus related. But what is nice to see here is we do have a outline of the slip road here as planned, which is quite interesting to see, and it actually does show us how that's going to be modelled approximately. So if we kind of zoom in a little bit further here, you can see, this is A421 at the moment. They want to come off just prior to the first of these warehouses as you're traveling east to west. And then you're going to elevate yourself and pass over the top of the A421 and drop down into the site. Same will be true on the way back, I'm imagining, but probably you're going to build a B on the other side of the road. And then if you're going westbound, or if you're coming from a westerly direction, then you're going to go that way. I'd imagine this asterisk here is going to be a roundabout. Cool. All right. Anything else? No. Okay. So that's quite interesting. I think we've learned something there, particularly around the slip road, which, as you know, that's something I'm very excited about. That's something that we're going to see a lot of activity on over the coming weeks and months. Okay, next slide, please. We have document 1.12.0, parameter plan, active travel plan. Now, Universal are looking for 10% of visitors to the park to be traveling actively. So what that means in practice is walking, cycling, that kind of thing. I'm not sure quite how realistic that is, but a lot of local people will be visiting. Just out of interest, 30% by public transport, 60% by car or coach. Let's have a look. Let's go up to the legend. Wow, we've got a lot of different colours here. Okay, so we've got this standard for the kind of the pink dash surrounding the yellow for the limit of deviation. We have the level crossing, again hashed out in green. We have green solid lines for existing routes for pedestrians. We have purple dashes for shared route, proposed routes for pedestrians and cyclists, green dashes for proposed routes for pedestrians, footway, okay, which would be constructed by Universal and offered up to Bedford Borough Council for adoption. We have this mustard one, which will be segregated route for pedestrians and cyclists. We have blue, which is a shared route for pedestrians and cyclists, which would remain in private control. We have this one, which kind of has something funky going on with it, which is proposed shared route for pedestrians and cyclists underpass to remain in private control. We have a turquoise proposed route for pedestrians to remain in private control. And we have this existing public right of way to be permanently stopped up. There are some public footpaths on the site, which, that's how we get on there at the moment. But there is a proposal to put an end to that. Right. Existing public right of way to be temporarily closed during construction. That's purple dashes. And then we have this public road B split line, which seems to be around kind of not necessarily kind of your typical way in, or might be a gate that you have to get into, where you're kind of transitioning from public space to private. Let's have a look. All right. Okay, so we have this bit here, which is currently a public right-of-way footpath, which will be temporarily closed during construction. That is just on the border of the lake zone. Okay, then we have this active route, which seems to follow quite closely the roadway, okay, that we've seen proposed. All right, let's scoot down a little bit. Let's see what else we've got here. Okay, all right, so we have, okay, I've just zoomed out a little bit just so that we can kind of get the legend in there as well, because there's a lot of different versions of, lots of different variations of different footpaths going on here. So here we have a proposed route for pedestrians going down Manor Road. Here we have a proposed segregated routes for pedestrians and cyclists that go around the core zone, past and over or under the railway, up here and up to the old A421. And we have here, this is the blue one. This is to remain in private control. This one here that goes along here. Now, this is the interesting bit. You see this grey long dashes here? Now, this is a public right of way, a public footpath. Now, public footpaths are a wonderful thing in this country. Some countries don't have them at all, but this allows the public right of way through private land. This has always been private land, but we've always had a public right of way to walk through it. That's how we've gone in there and got the footage that we've managed to get. Now, this proposal is for that to be permanently stopped. Permanently. Which makes a lot of sense, because at the moment this public footpath seems to cut the theme park into 3 little bits. We can't be having that. Okay, so that is very interesting. What's going to happen to the footpath? It's not going to be a footpath anymore. The caveat, the sweetener, the sugar that Universal has added to the public and to the council is that they're going to be providing a load more footpaths. So if you relied on that footpath to get from A to B, it's okay. There's a new footpath now which allows you to do it. And it will probably be paved rather than traipsing through mud. So that is a real deep dive there into some of those fantastic maps. I love the maps. They are so illuminating, and it's fantastic to see what's actually going to be happening around some of the transit, around the A421, around the public footpaths, around, that slip road, right? It's fantastic to see all of this. Now, if you aren't subscribed, please do consider doing it. It means a lot to me. It does. But also, it means that you won't miss out on any of our updates, construction updates, deep dives like this, and our Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Universally Bedford Live. You're not going to want to miss them. They are unbelievable fun. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you again very soon.